How you doing, YouTube? Mountain Massive Beer Reviews. Back with yet another review. And, yeah. It's my time. It's my favorite time. And that is Thomas Hardy time. Thomas Hardy Ale. For those that have never watched my channel, because I talk about this beer ad nauseum, is a beer that was created in 1968. Went through a couple different breweries. Was brewed on and off throughout since then, and stopped production in 2008. Last bottles that are produced are 2008 versions, and it has been a dodo bird ever since. A group from Italy, a beer kind of distribution importer-exporter group, bought the recipe and has brought it back. I was lucky enough to get a couple bottles from them. Thank you very much, guys. So, yeah, let's just dive into this, because I've been waiting 9 years for this. Anyway, let's see what we got. As far as what it says in the bottle, it says Thomas Hardy's Ale. It says, in the trumpet major, Hardy wrote of Dorsetshire strong beer. It was one of the most beautiful color and eye of an artist and a beer could desire. Full in body, yet brisk as a volcano. Pigment, yet without twang. Luminous as an autumn sunset. Free from streakiness of taste, but finally rather heady. This is vintage 2016. I believe this is from November 2016. Up top here on the neck, we have a date of 21/11/26. If you're going by the old European style stuff, that is November 21st, 2026. I assume they're going for a 10-year best by date on this. I don't know if that's a law, because this beer is good for well beyond 10 years. So I'm assuming, being that it's November, we are into July 2017. So just about 8 or so months old. It is bottled 288812, and on the back it says, first produced in 1968, Thomas Hardy's Ale is a barley wine produced just once yearly with annual vintages in limited quantities. Some specimen of this rare bottle condition classic have been kept for at least 25 years, maturing in flavor like fine wine. To discover how to store and taste it, visit hardthomashardyale.com. It's 11.7% alcohol by volume, and that'd be it. Yeah. Nothing crazy. It's a core 4 beer. Ingredients: water, barley malt. Oh, cane sugar. So added sugar. Hops and yeast. I assume that's for a ABV bump. And that'd be that. I know they went through several iterations of this beer trying to get it right. I saw them actually kind of bring it up a couple different times back in 2015, I believe, late 2015. So, yeah. Anyway, label-wise, fucking classic, man. It's classic Hardy style. You can see all the bottles above my head right there. They are classic style. The only thing missing is the badge, the little medallion that hung on all of them. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss it, but at the same time, it's not as much as deal breaker as I thought it would be. But then again, a lot of the Hardys that I've gotten over the years have been, stored vintages that I haven't stored myself, and they get lost all the time. So you can get Hardys without the medallion on it from time to time. So give it a crack. Give it a pour. See what she's got. It has been, I don't even know, probably like 15 years, maybe longer, since I've had an actual fresh Hardy. I don't remember the last time I had a relatively fresh Hardy, being that it's under a year. It is by far and away. Fruit flies trying to get out of the Rennie. Far and away one of the more newer vintages I had. What had on it had a slight tinge of khaki to it, but it's dissipated pretty quickly. It's got a very nice, vibrant kind of orange, kind of murkiness to it. I'm used to it being much, much darker, but again, as this ages, it's going to get much darker, much murkier. So to actually see it kind of in its more natural state than what I'm used to is kind of a kick, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, soft murkiness definitely comes off kind of iced tea like in vibes, and yeah. What does she look like? She looks like a Hardy so far. Kind of soft, kind of lumbering, kind of dormant kind of carbonation you can see in there. It's very, very soft. You give that a little twirl and let it sit. It just kind of explodes with carbonation. Just wants to be drank. Let's see if we can get a nose on her. It's like it smells like Thomas Hardy. Not to be as on the nose. I'm getting just bombarded with softer tones than I thought, but soft, mature kind of tones from it. I'm getting leather, a ton of leather, like old, like kind of leathery, worn leather. I'm getting a little bit of soft banana. I'm getting figs and dates out the wazoo. That leather thing is really coming off for me. It reminds me a lot of like an old, very old, like, you know, several year old, 40-year-old bottle of like Speyside Scotch. Like, it's very Speyside Scotch in that leather. It doesn't smell like Scotch. You're not going to get that kind of harsh kind of Scotch deliciousness. I think is delicious, but it's not that. But that if you were ever to drink several 40, 50, 60-year-old bottle of Scotch, especially Speyside Scotch, you get this kind of soft leathery banana thing that this kind of shares with that. It's an age thing. It's an old thing. It's a mature thing. It's something that is hard to kind of get in beer, but I'm getting it in this, especially something so young. Those dates and figs, everything's so soft and rounded. I'm really surprised. I thought this would be a bit more kind of oomph in your face, being that it doesn't have a ton of time on it. Yeah, the one big thing that's missing from it, and it's not a negative by any means, but it doesn't have as much oxidation as I'm used to. Again, a lot of the Hardys that I've been having over the past several years have been multi-year aged beers that have been sitting around God knows where. So, you know, oxidation is going to happen. A lot of times these cap beers that aren't taken care of, or even if they're taken care of properly, if they're not secondary sealed with some kind of tape or wax or whatever, chances are you're going to have some kind of oxidation. Or even if there was, you know, who knows, the packaging and what they had back in the day, there was negative oxygen there, I don't know. So it lacks that. So it's coming off a bit more crisper, a bit more cleaner, but it's still rounded. It's not jarring. It's not super like whacking you in the face, as a lot of like relatively fresh off the line barley wines tend to do. So yeah, it's just it smells like a Hardy. I hate to say that because that is a kind of, you know, define the definition with its own word kind of thing going on here. But we are not in a spelling bee. We are in a tasting bee. Or we are tasting beers bee. Well, I'm gonna dive right in. Cheers. Doesn't suck. It's delicious, is what it is. A lot more caramel on the mouth than I expected. You know, I didn't mention it in nose, but you know, a lot of times when you get those kind of dates and figs that pop off, if there is a bit of caramel in there, they kind of get lost in there for me. Kind of skew a little bit more date and figgy. This is definitely coming off caramel, then date and figgy. And just for super nerds out there, this is just below what it should be, room temp. Below my room temp, I'm saying. Right around 55 degrees, pushing 60. So, you know what I mean? This beer is not cold. I don't think there's any sweat on the bottle. There shouldn't be. But yeah, it's nice mouthfeel. Beautiful, creamy, silky. Werther's Original style mouthfeel. If you ever actually suck on Werther's Original, you get this kind of sultry creaminess in your mouth. That's what you're getting here. The booze is very well hidden. It's 11.7%. You can kind of get that it's a higher ABV beer, but it's so rounded. That's the biggest surprise of this beer, is that it's so rounded right off the bat that even though it is a higher ABV beer and you know it is, it's not coming off harsh. Now I'm getting like kind of like an apricot jammy thing going on. Apricots, dates, figs, apricots. That's now what's striking me. The mouth feels beautiful. Coat your tongue. It reminds me a lot of a Speyside Scotch, man. It does. It does. Without that, if you were to strip that distilled Scotchness, I know that it's not Scotch, but if you take away that kind of spirit harshness that Scotch has, it reminds me a lot of an old aged Speyside Scotch. And the most beautiful way possible. It's soft and rounded, but at the same time aggressive and not, you know what I mean, not confident. It's a confident beer. I don't think I've ever used that word in a beer before, but it just reeks of confidence. Listen, you could tell going into this that I was looking forward to this beer, so I had preconceived notions going into it. But I honestly believe that I'm well equipped to call bullshit and to separate separate myself from a beer in these moments to judge it accordingly. Okay, I know I am. If I seem overly exuberant or absorbed by it, is because I know it's good at this point, and now I'm just letting myself go into it more. I'm getting a little bit less restricted on the edges. I'm kind of go into it first, kind of like trying to pick it apart, trying to not just gush over it like a fanboy. I'm trying to be as impartial as I possibly can. But I've gotten to the point where now I'm like, okay, this is a very good beer. Let's just sink into it and just let it absorb you, and it's fucking fantastic. Yeah. A little bit of heat, more heat on the back end. Again, nothing too aggressive. Yeah, dates, figs, apricots. And it's not like apricot, it's like apricot jam. Like jammy. Marmalade. I'm going to say it. I hate people use that, but it's that kind of thing. Because it's like jammy in the United States is like jammy. It's like a sweet kind of jammy. Marmalade's different. That's what it's coming off. I can't believe I've finally used that in a beer review. Sue me, kick me. I want to kick my own ass for saying marmalade. But yeah. The caramel has now kind of blurred a bit. It's not nearly as aggressive. I don't know if I'm getting used to it or it's just kind of just sitting there at a certain point in the beer. Mouthfeel is still nice. It's just fantastic. It's everything I wanted it to be and more, honestly. I really did, even though I went into this with the highest of hopes, I kind of prepared myself for a bit of harshness. I'm like, okay, you're probably going to think this is going to come off a bit harsh because it is not aged already, but yeah, it's fantastic. And all that being said, age is going to just make this better. Unless something goes terribly wrong, it should age like a champion. I know, like I said, it went through several iterations. They actually took the base recipe and they did refine it. They did tweak it, which I'm kind of really excited about because, you know what I mean? You brew on different systems, you do different things. I'm sure the recipe has been tweaked throughout the years. So to brew something to spec is not the way breweries should function unless you're in the same exact system you're originally on. So I have no problems with them kind of, dabbling a little bit and refining it and dialing it in. And what they've come up with is true. It's true to the Thomas Hardy ale line. It comes off just like I remember. Again, like I said, it's been several years, over 10 years, since I've had a fresh, quote-unquote, fresh Hardy. So I'm going off base memory. It rings true to the original. And just as good, and just a fucking welcome sight to see back. Let's talk about that. It's not available yet here in the States. This is July 6th, I believe, 2017. The only information that they have bestowed upon me is that it should be available in 2017 in the United States. So, by the time I post this, which will probably be tomorrow, I received this today. I let it get to the temp it should have been, settled for a hot minute. It should be available within the next several months, so that's a good thing. And what quantity, in what form, or how much, I don't know, but I know it's going to be around. They're still looking for an importer, but yeah, it's good to see it back, man. It's good. It's like it's good. Let's put it that way. It's been a while since I've had a Hardy in general, and this definitely brings me back. A lot of good times, a lot of good people. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better English old ales / barley wines I've had as of late? Yeah, for me it is. You might drink it and think not, but for me, combination of judging it as impartial as I can, then letting myself go into it. It just does what I want it to do. So yes, it is. Value and availability, I have no idea. I was lucky enough to have them send me some. When it hits, I have no idea. So take that for what it's worth, and just say if you like what we like this. If you like Hardy's, you know, I mean, it's been much a original. You know, there are beers that come close. J.W. Lee's is kind of in the same vein, but different, much different. Different kind of yeast, and a very different yeast profile, and a slight different kind of malt bill that comes off a little bit more kind of funky. But if you like that, if you like an aged old stock, again, to me that's always been the closest to Thomas Hardy Ale, North Coast old stock. Not when it's original, not when it's first out of the batch. I actually just reviewed a 2016 old stock. I'll try to put that up close to this one, and you can see the difference and illustrate the difference between that and the old one. You can go back and watch my older old stock reviews. Once the old stocks get to about 5-8 years old, they start to merge in the same timeline. Or they did. I don't know how this one's going to track, but they merge into the same kind of taste profile. Fresh off the bat, they are not the same beer, but they age in the same kind of beer. So if you like an aged old stock, aged J.W. Lee's, if you like Thomas Hardy, if you like fantastically well-made beer, in a malt, in yeast, because you're definitely getting a decent amount of flavor from the yeast here. If you like just good beer, classically made good beer, you'll like this because it is beautiful in all the right ways. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down below. If you want to check me out on social media, just Massive Beers, all one word, all the outlets. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully I'm enjoying a Thomas Hardy Ale right now, and hopefully see you next time. Cheers.